Welcome back to Lamine's Legacy episode number 2. Today we're going to have a discussion about the power curve and what EA seem to be doing in the store versus in the SBCs and things like that. But the gameplay you're watching in the background is from the Lamine's RTG, where we're looking to try and beat Ronaldo's goal scoring record and Messi's assist record. The gameplay is just from tournaments, to be honest. It's been my favourite mode to play. I really don't understand the reason to be in Rivals past the 30 points. The rewards just aren't worth it, and so climbing the divisions just seems really pointless right now. I haven't played a ton, but I'm not really getting bounties too often, and so for me personally, I just really don't understand why I would spend my time in Rivals with skill-based matchmaking gameplay. As far as the market curve and stuff goes, I think that's a really important thing to discuss, and I wish I could have discussed it earlier, but because of stuff in my personal life, this video is a bit delayed. I really would have liked to have uploaded this 2 days ago on the Monday, and I'm recording it now on the Wednesday. But last Friday, with the Ultimate Edition sort of early access pre-order bonus going live, they decided to drop 100k packs at 6 in the store, which they've already came out and apologised. I don't think it necessarily matters. I think that will be the theme of the year. You know, you can't really talk about having a slow power curve and really, tell the audience and the community that you're listening to them and then drop 100k packs before the game is officially technically out. I know a lot of people online, specifically, on Twitter or X these days, referencing that they've bought their teams feeling safe, feeling like, it wasn't going to lead to this, massive pack focus that they've clearly had the last 10 years. And it would allow people to, not necessarily buy a team on one day and just 24 hours later have half of their coins taken away from them in value. But they did, and it did lead to a market drop, and it didn't lead to an increase in prices on meta cards afterwards, which is most commonly the theme. When you get a coin injection, you typically, what typically tends to happen is the supply that comes out from the packs drops player prices because there's just more supply. But the coin injection that people get from selling whoever they pack tends to allow them to transition those coins away from less desirable, albeit expensive players, into desirable expensive players, leading to a price increase. But you could just tell that there was just, for the most part, nobody benefited from those 100k packs, or very few members of the community did. Most people seem to be free to play right now, and will always be free to play. Will be the majority. But there's really no way for people to get coins on this game and to upgrade teams. I mean, what have they dropped since early access? You've had a Reece James SBC, you've had 77 doubles, we had an 83 plus, I believe, last night, which I'm still yet to open, because I want to record that for an upcoming episode. We've had one set of squad battles rewards. We're going to have Rivals tomorrow, but again, what are people going to pack, or what are people going to get from a coin perspective? It's like 25k for being an elite, and I don't even think anyone is close to elite, or for the most part, even in elite. It's, Division 4 is where everyone's obviously trying to get if it comes to the pro ladder and things like that, and I know that a lot of people are towards 4 and 3. But you're not talking about many coins for finishing in that sort of rank. And, I just don't see where people are going to be able to upgrade their teams without directly packing something that they want to use. And I think that's going to be a long-term issue with this game. Don't get me wrong, I'm fully on board with the power curve being slowed. I think it's been way too quick to ramp up in previous years, especially last year. I think that was when most of the community really acknowledged like this is ridiculous. But I think they've gone too far the other way, and I know it's, again, the game isn't even officially out till Friday, and so I may be, jumping the gun here, but I don't see how people are going to upgrade their teams without directly packing those cards that they want to use, and I think that that's going to be a real long-term issue. To be honest, if I had the ability to actually make some decisions, my priority would be increasing the coin reward as you climb up either the divisions, so the divisions in obviously Rivals, but the ranks within squad battles and champs. I really think we should be prioritizing the coins going up for the better rewards and finishes to really reward players that are highly skilled. In my opinion, when you talk about the power curve, there's like three ways in which you progress. One is through money spent, okay. One is through luck, and one is through skill. If you think about in past years, if you use like extreme examples, somebody like Bateson, he's always going to progress through the power curve because of the access to FIFA points, right? And that's not a knock on what he does. It's obviously for content and his livelihood. But it doesn't matter what the curve is. It doesn't matter if the curve's incredibly steep. It doesn't matter if it costs tens of thousands of pounds. He would keep up with the power curve just because he can, and that's just a fact. Then you have luck, which also helps you climb the power curve, but you know, it's not for everyone. I myself this year have spent £200 or 40,000 FIFA points, and my best pull, I'm not going to actually spoil who it is because it's coming up in another episode from a coin value perspective, but it's been around 60 to 80,000 coins, which it's nothing to moan at. An 80,000 coin player is definitely nice to add to the balance. But in 40,000 FIFA points, it's a bit silly, really, especially considering I know people have spent less who've packed multiple 100k plus players, 250k plus players. But luck helps you climb up the power curve as well, and that really doesn't matter, how good or bad you are at the game, or how often or how little you play the game either. But that is another way in which you can obviously climb up the power curve. And then finally, it's the skill. So whilst I understand the pros do spend points, if you look at somebody like Tex's RTGs when he gets bored and that sort of thing towards the summer, Shori would be the same. I don't know if Gorilla does a RTG these days, but if you look at these like top players, they get so many rank 1 finishes on a consistent basis that they climb up the power curve just because in the past that the rewards have allowed them to, even if they don't necessarily pack anything. Just the coin balance and the absolute floor value of the packs, the inform packs or the promo packs, etc. Any tradable packs just allow them to essentially continue to climb the curve. I think they've took the most important element out of it this year, which to me is the skill. If you spend a fortune, you can still get ahead. My team is better than most teams that I play, and that is because of the spend. I'm not naive to that. It's entirely because of the spend. And most teams that I've played that are better than mine, I would imagine, is from a higher spend. Now, the spending will always stay, and you can't expect a company looking to maximize profit to reduce the spend, or at least completely remove it. That's just never going to happen. And then there's the luck, which again, luck EA have no control over unless they were to, completely rethink the probabilities of players in the packs, which I know the probabilities do change. But specifically talking about the in-demand cards, I really don't know if EA will ever make those in-demand meta cards more attainable, because I just don't know what that does statistically, and I'm more than happy enough to admit that. I don't know how the game plays with the packs being different. But yeah, luck allows people to climb, and that's still a part of the game, and will always be a part of the game as long as we have this model of packs that contain, random chances or probabilities, I should say. But this year, yeah, they've really removed the skill aspect. Elite Division players last year, just to use Rivals as an example, they progressed their accounts much quicker than those in Division 3, Division 4. Because of that extra coin balance, even if they don't necessarily get as lucky, they can still progress and sort of outperform over time, which obviously this game's on a cycle. It's a 12-month cycle. As the weeks go by and the more consistent finishes occur, you can sort of get ahead, even if other people are getting a bit more luck than you in your packs. And then obviously Champs has been massive as well. Champs really being the game mode in which you can really thrive and make some good amount of coins if you are having the good finishes. I think I looked at the Champs rewards and yeah, they are considerably better than Rivals. That's for a fact. But you kind of need to get somewhere, I believe, around the 11 win mark for it to even make a difference. And I don't think many people do get 11 wins if you think about it from a grand scheme perspective. I mean, if you're watching this video, I would imagine there's a good chance you don't get less than 9 wins, as you're part of the sort of hardcore community, whether you believe that or not. But actively watching videos definitely doesn't make you a casual. And yeah, I think, with the Challengers introduction, 11 wins this year may be a significant feat, and it may be genuinely challenging, as I anticipate the standard of the Champs player to go up, just because you can always just head down to Division 7 and chill in Challengers if you just want to play the game to play the game, as opposed to grow and develop your account. And I think that is really the overall problem that I see early doors, which could easily change, and I could easily be wrong, but this is just a bit of an insight into how I view the game after such a short space of time. I really think that the coin rewards specific to the increase in performance needs to be reevaluated, because I do believe it's way too there's not enough of an incentive, is what I'm trying to say, to progress through the game. And I think that reflects not only in sort of the amount of times I've been live and recording within this game, but I think it reflects in what I'd imagine to be playtime as well. The game just doesn't give you a reason to play past however much fun you have. As soon as I think I'm a bit fed up of the game, I just go and I make other content. I practice editing, I practice making TikToks, I try and grow socials in other ways, because there's more value in that, and I understand not everyone is a content creator, but there's so much more value off the game, even if you talk about stuff that's completely unrelated, such as other hobbies and other things going on in people's personal lives, compared to what it is to spend excess time on the game at the moment. In other years, you've had countless objectives to offer big packs. You've had countless modes that give you what feels like worthwhile rewards, at least when you compare them to specifically this year. And I just don't see a reason to force the issue when it comes to playing the game. I really do just sort of play the tournaments, get my rivals points, or that's what I've done this week anyway. And it really doesn't take long. I mean, don't get me wrong, the time to get those rewards is going to increase as you climb the divisions and get put in your actual skill bracket. But I can get by with a couple of games every time I have the opportunity to play and just sort of move on. And it's not because the game is bad by any means. The game's considerably better than last year. It's considerably better than 24. To be honest, it probably is better than... It probably is the best game of the last sort of 4 years. Past that, I'm not so sure. Maybe 20 was better. I don't really have a full memory of how much I enjoyed 20. But the game's not problematic, at least in most ways. I'm sure those of you watching this, by the time it gets uploaded, will be very aware of the broken mechanic of a rainbow flick bicycle kick, essentially being the most effective way to score goals on the game. But it's for the most part it's a good game through the manual defending and the opportunities and difference in ways in which you can score goals. You would have just seen a game on screen with me losing in the final of the tournament. I got absolutely destroyed by someone using a significantly worse team than me. Fair play to him. Yeah, he absolutely destroyed me. I even quit the game, as you would have saw. But he probably couldn't do that as easily last year. The team difference and sort of the just mechanic difference probably would have allowed me to hold on, and maybe even have allowed me to get a dodgy win. I mean, I probably could have just green time Travell at him from 40 yards, and there would have been nothing he could do about it. But in this year, we actually had to play the game, actually had to play some football, and he was clearly better than that at me, which is good. It's how the game should be, and it's not how the game has been for quite some time. And if you look at big content creators like Run the Foot Market, he's probably having the time of his life. I haven't had the opportunity to tune into his streams, but I have been seeing the odd clip and the odd tweet. And it seems like he's having a very good time on the games, especially compared to some of the previous titles. But that sort of plays into what I'm discussing, really. If it's all well and good having a good game, but now you've took any reason or desire to be on the game away, and it just feels like they can't quite do everything right. And I know it's a tough ask to ask a company to do everything right, but I just feel like this game has the potential to be probably the biggest game on console outside of Call of Duty, which maybe it's close anyway. But it always falls short. It always falls short. There's always something lacking. And I understand people will probably comment like, why be so miserable? Why moan? Why complain so much? We've got a good product. Enjoy it for what it is. But I just think long term, player base is going to suffer because what is there to do? I could probably put 40 hours into this account this week, and what would I get? What would I truly get? Let's just say that I finished in Division 4, which I would get to Division 4 no problem if I wanted to actually get there. I'm going to make an extra, say, 5,000 coins guaranteed. Obviously, luck is dependent, but you could be in Division 10 and pack something ridiculous. So I'm guaranteed an extra 5,000 coins from, just say, rivals. Let's say that I spend a bunch of time playing squad battles too, and I actually do that. Okay, I could make another 10,000 coins. We're talking about 15,000 coins. What else? At the moment, there's obviously nothing to play. We got to wait till next weekend for champs, which that's absolutely fine. It's been the same every year. That's not problematic. But what? Why spend all that time playing offline? Which I understand some people do enjoy that and prefer that, but I've never been one that's particularly enjoyed offline gameplay ever since I've been introduced to online gameplay. And I just don't see what the point is in spending that time on the game, unless you are thoroughly enjoying it. Obviously, if you're enjoying it and you're buying cards, testing them out, you're not bothered about your coin balance, you're happy enough to lose some coins here and there, then I think this is probably the best game in a long time. But if you're someone that is bothered about losing coins, the market's already told you that it's no different in that aspect. There's a lot of panic. There's a lot of issues with maintaining player prices. Probably because again, there's just such a lack of a coin injection to allow people's purchasing power to increase. And yeah, I just really don't think that this game at the moment is in the state it needs to be in to completely flourish in all aspects. I do think, and you have to give them credit from a gameplay perspective in terms of an individual 90-minute game, it is the best we've got. But I think across a gaming session, a handful of hours, etc., the game is going to fall short if it continues to do this. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I understand that my opinion may not be one that is shared by many people. And it would be great to get some interaction on the video for I know it's only going to reach a few people being such a new creator. But if you wanted to give your opinion or challenge the things that you think I'm saying, then, it gives me more material to talk about in the next episode and the next videos. Because I really would like to hopefully be able to do these types of videos in a style that is similar to Nepenthez, who's obviously been around for, I think I've watched Nepenthez since like FIFA 12 with Ruin a Randomer. But if you've ever watched his videos, you'll know that he essentially just takes comments from the comment section and responds to them, has discussion points, which I think is a real nice way to interact with your community. And whilst I appreciate that I don't have one yet, it would be nice for any early viewers or any early supporters to really get involved and we can have a discussion that sort of, is worthwhile and hopefully fun and interesting. So I really would appreciate any comments to drop below in the comments box. And of course, I'll do the typical content creator beggy thing, which is to ask for likes and subscribers. But they really do help, especially when you're an aspiring content creator with a very limited audience. I suppose that's all I really wanted to discuss in this video, but there's like another, 14 minutes of content. I think without an audience, I'm probably going to reduce the time spent on videos in terms of the length of them, because I am just talking to myself and it's still such a weird concept. So what I'll probably do is have 10 to 15 minute long videos, because discussion points in there are quite easy to maintain and continue with. But videos like this that are 30 minutes long, I'm probably going to rethink, just because it is tough without that community interaction. I guess I'll spend at least a few minutes trying to encourage you to pop into the streams. I guess if anyone is looking for chilled vibes, you can tell my voice isn't, I hate listening to my own voice, but my voice isn't going to be, super optimistic, flamboyant, sort of, energetic. I'm a pretty reserved person. I'm pretty chilled out. The vibes in the gameplay is going to be chilled. The vibes in the commentary is going to be chilled. If I was to describe the content I'm trying to make, is what you put on when you sat down with your dinner. Just to have something on in the background, something to listen to, chill to. None of the dramatics of some creators, which again is no shade. It's just that's not the audience I'm necessarily looking for. I don't want to be screaming my head off when I pack I don't know, a Yamal, for example. I don't want to scream my head off when I pack an Inform. And I don't have the opportunity nor the funds or the assets to go and sit there and do videos such as 100,000 FIFA points the size of my team. I would love to, but it's obviously not on the cards, especially for a first-year creator. So content's all just sort of centered around something fun and interesting. So I don't think I've seen anyone do a series like this one where the objective is tied to in-game performance. I've obviously seen plenty of RTGs over the time that are based around a player or a club or a theme. Those aren't exactly unique. But in terms of a specific player with a specific goal, I do. Now, if you've seen a content creator do something like this, then by all means, again, leave a comment, because I'd like to check out the video, get some inspiration from the styles, and see if there's anything that I can incorporate that would improve the quality of the videos. But I'm not aware of anyone that's doing a particular player with a particular thing. And so it would be, I hope that the series can get some traction and it's something that people could find interesting. I can already say, I think I'm on about episode 4 in terms of where I've played up to, but I'm obviously only recording the voiceover of episode 2 right now. The assists are going to come relatively easy. I don't need to really be concerned with those. But the goals are going to be challenging. Like, I don't think I've hit 20 goals yet, and I'm supposed to be hitting like close to 1,000. I mean, it's 9. I want to say like 960 odd to beat the record, but I'm obviously going to try and get to 1,000 as well. But I don't know if I don't know when or if I can even do it with a player that doesn't play striker. Like, I've played him primarily right mid, obviously to play him in position, but the assists are coming fine, but the goals not so much. Obviously, I can force it a bit more, and I can sort of continue to try and prioritize it, but I do just want to play quite naturally and let it naturally come, especially sort of in the early stages of the game. I don't want every video you see to just be, Yamal on the ball at all times. I think that would get quite old quite quick. So yeah, that's sort of where the account is at. With smaller videos, obviously, I'll be able to discuss things better and sort of more clearly when I record to a lower length. But let me know. I guess I'll ask for other discussion points to put in the comments, because it's sort of the best way to get you engaged and interacting, I suppose. But let me know how you're doing with your tournaments. Let me know how you're doing with your rivals. Let me know how you're doing with your pack luck, your teams, all things like that. I'm interested to see what people's early experiences are and compare them to mine on this account. Let me know if you have any sort of opinions or suggestions for specifically where you want the account and the teams to go, because right now I'm kind of doing it a bit aimlessly. There's around 400,000 coins, maybe 500,000 coins liquid if I was to sell everything that isn't Yamal. Without an audience and without sort of a direction, I don't know the specific team that I want to work towards. I'm just kind of trying cards and testing formations right now. But if we could, get some viewer interaction that was specifically you wanted to see a Barcelona focus, or you wanted to see a youth focus, or you wanted to see just a La Liga focus, anything like that, then I'll do it, because at the end of the day, this account and this content isn't necessarily about me. It is about my current non-existent audience, but it would be nice to have some direction with the account and just sort of sway away from purely meta-based players. You can also see just briefly on the screen right here my team, which isn't my current team as I'm recording. I have changed it up. You'll see that in the next video. I spent a bunch of time basically just testing out new formations and moving players around. And I'll give a commentary on that when you watch that video, which I'm hoping to upload this video on Wednesday. So I'm recording it on Wednesday. I'm hoping to upload it straight away. And then I'm hoping to upload episode 3 on Thursday. And I'm hoping to upload episode 4 on Friday evening. As I upload those videos then, because I have them made, I just don't have the voiceover done for them. We'll start next week fresh. And what I mean by that is the lower length videos with a less sort of erratic voiceover, which I'll have a new sort of overlay and stream setup and everything like that, and that will hopefully again improve the quality of the videos. There's around 6 minutes left in this video, and I feel like my quality of commentary decreasing with every sentence. I can tell that I'm starting to run out of things to say and discuss. So I'd rather than just have an idiotic voiceover for the last 6 minutes, I'm going to call it short here and just let the gameplay play out. I won't put any music or anything like that in case of copyright. So if you want to click off the video now, I completely understand. But if you are interested in just watching some gameplay, seeing how I play, seeing how it differs to you, then by all means I'll leave the gameplay in there. I don't know if that's the right decision. I'm not experienced or skilled enough as a content creator yet to understand what I should be doing. It's all sort of trial and error. But I appreciate the views. I appreciate any comments that get made. Hopefully they do. And if you want to pop into the streams, the stream will be live on Twitch. And it's at the same username as what it is here on YouTube, an Academic Gamer. You could also follow me on TikTok and on Twitter, because I do actually use those platforms. TikTok more than Twitter, to be honest. Twitter I kind of just lurk and sort of finding pages I want to follow and interact with without, just being ridiculous with my interactions. But TikTok I do try to upload videos, and I have uploaded quite a few videos on there. We have a slight growth on that channel, which is awesome, but I am slightly out of ideas for content at the moment. Need to put up some highlight videos, I think, and just sort of make more of an effort to review the players I have in my team, as I'm not in content creator mode when I play. For some reason, I just kind of play without an objective, and I think I need to sort of change and adjust that to make sure that I am making content and sort of being able to grow my socials. But thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.